right, cool. Get this plugged in here. We on? Come on. Notification. It's got to be on. Hey guys, wanted to do a little Sunday chat. Show you all what's been going on. Up and coming plans, up and coming things we might be doing with the channel. Just had a couple rough days of snow. I've got some GoPro footage plowing, not too much crazy stuff. Normally I'll record quite a bit throughout the week, but after looking at it, the views aren't very good, or there's not much going on, a lot of salt and stuff like that. But we just had a good walloping of snow. I think where I'm plowing might have been 16 inches, something like that. Here, I think we're over the 22-inch mark. And thinking about, I've already got the driveway, all that stuff done. But for the people that actually watch the not simulating stuff or simulator stuff, I don't have too much more to do. I've done quite a bit of plowing the past 2 days with a tractor, just getting everything. But the little wood yard that I've got, I'm gonna take the camera out and just basically push whatever's left with that. And then I also want to take a look at the 318. I've got two 318s. Yeah, when I bought my mower, you guys know the 318 that was in here. I've actually got another one that's kind of parts tractor, but I'm actually thinking about doing a, I don't know if I want to do a resto on it or something else. So I'm kind of looking for what y'all think, what your thoughts are on it. I'm not really thinking it'll be a restore right to back to where it was by any means. I normally do my own little thing, like when I put the diesel engine on the 140. After that one tossed its cookies. So I'm not sure if I want to do. I was talking to Deputy P on the Discord last night, and we started looking at pictures of what people have done with tractors and whatnot. And the 318, it's kind of an odd looking tractor. It doesn't. It's getting out of the old vintage type of look. Like when you look at the old 3020s, 4020s, just the 140 kind of with a little bit of fabricating and creativity, which I'm also thinking about doing to my 140. I just want to find a another pan, but I'd like to chop behind the footboard there, whatever the heck you call it, the pan where your feet sit. I'd like to chop behind there and actually come up with the fenders, go right over the rear tires. I see a couple pictures of people doing that online, and really kind of got a little spark going. I mean, we've got a bunch of the axe stuff that I want to really get into and kind of pump out some content on that. Chainsaws, you guys know we got chainsaws for days, and I'll kind of show you, because I don't put a lot of this stuff on because I haven't got the crowd yet. But you guys know I've got my saws. I've been doing a lot of axe things here. We've got a bunch of project axes. The one right here, that's been hung by me twice now, and for some reason we've had two issues with handles. I'll show you guys what we got for snow out here. don't know how if it's gonna be overexposed or whatnot. You guys can see the banks here. An awful mess, but I still got to clean all this up here. I've got a snow plow back there for the side-by-side. There's the 140, and unfortunately the 318. I got them out of the shop, that way I could have a little bit of room to work. But I've got another 318 right here, which was parts for my mowing 318. But I'm thinking about maybe cutting a little trail in the back if I can. I got a trailer here. I don't know where y'all can see my fingers or not. It's so bright. But yeah, there is a trailer underneath here. That's actually my little mower bagger, and that's my but the trailer's 24 foot long. Goes out to right around my, yeah, it's actually underneath all that. So I don't think I could sneak back there. I'd probably have to go through here, but I'd like to get this 318 in the shed. You guys can see the wonderful snow mess we've got going on here, but I got to dig out all that. That way the little shed don't fall in. Like I said, I don't know if y'all could see that or not. Back in here, boy, it's bright. So that's my plans. And like I said, it's kind of a get plugged in again. It's kind of out there. I've got so much going on. I've got to redo. I want to redo the inside of this. I've got a barn that I'm going to be pulling down here in the spring. Hopefully getting some of that barn board and maybe dressing this up. But a little plowing video. I don't know how long it'd be. The tractor pushes pretty good. It doesn't steer worth crap. I gotta get. I'm still looking for some chains for the front. Chains on the back came with it, but I gotta find front chains. But I've heard a lot of different stories with chains in the front. Freaking light. We were not messing. Come on. There. That way I don't have to watch my head here. I've heard that you'll tear up a front end in a little tractor with chains on the front. Now, whether that's basically the same issue that I'm running into with the side-by-side with them big, you know, thing's got about 2.5 inch lugs on it. You get into the mud, you get into a rut, and you could snap a CV or something like that. So I'm thinking that's more or less what people are worried about when they're talking on the forums about the chains on tractors and whatnot. But as far as steering and snow pushing and stuff like that, I'll probably end up going that route. They're just so freaking expensive to get back into. So let me know if y'all would be interested in seeing that stuff. I'm not saying for sure yet that I'm going to get into it, especially right now with the way the weather is and work. But I would be kind of interested in doing a slow resto / because I don't have anything else for that mower. The engine's up at my parents' actually. But that engine, the engine that's out of that parts tractor is actually in my 318 right now. And the original 318 engine out of my tractor is out, and that's up at my parents'. We were working on getting it back going. It had, I think, a starter issue or something like that with it, and the gentleman that had it before, from what it looks like, took a bar, and everybody's heard of, you know, giving the starter a little whack or two, you know, that type of deal. Well, he took a bar through one of the little holes in the frame and smacked it so much that it actually broke the case on it. One of the two little for the starter. Then he had it welded, and it welded on freaking crooked. And instead of grinding away a little bit, he just mounted it on there, and basically didn't work. Didn't work at all. I think this was last year, the year before. I took that guy back off, and I actually filed the ears and made them straight. Yeah, I think that one will run. If it runs, I'd like to bring that mower in, the mowing tractor that I have, and I'd like to put that engine back into it, and actually run that over the summer, and maybe take the parts tractor that I have out back and go right from the frame, get it right down to bare nothing, and kind of rebuild it from the ground up, and kind of put my own little spin on it. I don't know how I want to do it yet. Like I said, with the 140s, 110s, 120, is it 120? I know 110. You guys know 110s with the round fenders. Everybody loves them things. They're so easy to make something cool out of. 140 was pretty good too. I didn't go with anything crazy on it. I just went from a 22 or 3-inch rear tire up to a 26 with the Rice and Cane, and put the tri-rib tires on the front of it, and put the diesel conversion to it. And now I don't even really use it as a mowing tractor, just because it's a nice little tractor, and mowing with that guy will take that away from it a little bit. It's hard on it, running screaming the whole time, you know. It's freaking hot, but it's freaking cold out. We're at well, in here we're at 62 now, but I think outside we're still at -5. Snow's nice and crunchy today, so I gotta get my wife's car all freaking cleaned up. The truck's got to be cleaned up. The yard's got to be cleaned up again. We had a bunch of drifting last night, but I just wanted to know if y'all be interested in seeing a little bit of resto stuff on here too. I think I've come to the conclusion that I'm gonna try to keep it all on this channel. It just gets too confusing, and the masses are already here. You know, my normal gaming stuff and stuff like that, you know, will be on here. But you know, if there's something that somebody else once I get both kind of crowds in here, maybe then I'll go over and I'll start putting stuff that's specific onto another channel. But right now, just for the eyes, for the views, for the feedback, and to see what people are interested in, I'll probably keep it over here. I know the videos haven't really been popping with views, so it's going to take a little bit of time, and you know, that's the way that is. But I am feeling a lot better with the editing software. I'm starting to get a little bit more secure in my own skin with the recording stuff. You know, there's nothing that I'm going to be able to really change. I'm just doing what I do, and that's it. And I can't believe how bad that little 257 was run after hearing the video. I mean, I kept burping it, trying to get it to clean out. I ended up, I think I had a foul plug in it, because I did, before I got up there, I had a freaking heck of a time getting that thing started. And I brought it over, I screwed with the carb, and that's the other thing that I had edited out of that video. If you guys hadn't checked that out, it wouldn't, the what is it, the high side of the carb, the low, I think I went out a turn or a turn and a half with the high, and it was just logy. It was running really rich, but I wanted it to run rich, and then I could lean it out just a little bit and hear how it was, especially with a 24-inch bar. I've got a 16 and an 18 that I might be throwing back on it, but I put the 16 on the other one, the one that's tired, that I brought back from the dead, basically, with a little bit of lubrication overnight. So I put a small bar on that guy just to try to save it a little bit until I figure out if I want to just sell it, or if I want to do that 262 conversion to it. But I would like to do that. But it gets a little bit expensive. And then, 50 views, stuff like that. It's worth it to me to do it. But in the same respect, if it isn't going to get out there, maybe I should just spend my time elsewhere. So I don't know yet what I want to do. But bringing the John Deere in here and doing a frame up rebuild on it, I think that would be kind of cool. And I don't know if I'll sell it or how I want to do that yet. But I would like to get 2 mowers out of that instead of just scrapping. I hate scrapping stuff like that. I like going to the scrapyard and finding things like that, because then I bring them home and make them into something. I can't tell you, as a kid, the freaking 4-wheelers, dirt bikes, snowmobiles, the stuff I had back then, from just like where that 257 was. I mean, that saw was found in the dump, along with the 53 that I have, or 51 is 50, yeah. Both them saws were found in the dump. The 50, I can't even remember I don't have the side cover on it. That thing runs like a kitten. It's more of a homeowner type of saw. I think that's a mid, to be honest with you, because it is a little bit older, and I know my dad's 55. It's a pretty good running saw. But nowadays you get into the 455s, the 450s, the 440s. They're cheap. We have a lot of them at work, and I'll run my 260. What is that thing? 268. What the heck is it? Oh, I've got that on my 265. That depends on my the use, bud. Depends on what I'm doing with it. With me, I worked at. I'm gonna really make this look good. Oh, that drives me nuts. Ooh, look at that. Depends on what I'm doing with it. When I'm doing a lot of dirt work, something like that, I usually grease it before I go out and play. But it all depends on the hours. And really it doesn't. If I'm using it all day, I'll grease it twice. I'll grease it at the beginning and I'll grease it at the end. Are you in your shed? Roof looks low. Yeah. Yeah, no, this isn't my house. No, yeah, I'm in the shed. I don't know if... Yeah, you could see. But, I don't know, and use a good molly. Napa grease, whatever. I'm not bashing Napa, but usually, the generic stuff, it works. Just make sure you do it more often. But a molly would stick with it nice. And I learned a lot of that. Like I said, I dealt with a lot of farmers. I've got a lot of farmers in the family. Let's start here. But the biggest thing, just grease, man. Even lawnmowers, don't skimp on it. It don't matter if it's an MTD. I don't know if MTDs even have grease zerks on them. To be very honest with you, I never owned one. But just remember to grease things. You hear that little bit of squeaking or whatever, stop and grease. Mine got a little bit of has a little bit of a squeak, and what it is the bar behind the bucket. A lot of people, and the way I received the tractor, it's exactly what people do. Is John Deere has, it's almost like a level bar for the arms on it, and there's a bar. Well, everybody thinks to put a chain or a rope around that and pick something up. Well, once you bend that, then you go to take your bucket off or something like that, and your plates are screwed up. Well, that bar actually keeps you. It's just one of them things, and that's what I think. That's what's squeaking on mine, because I've already taken it all off, and I've got. I'm actually looking at the universal plates right now, because I've got the John Deere plates on it that take the little pins, and next week I'd like to go and order forks, but I don't know that I want to order the forks without getting the plates, because I don't plan on keeping this tractor forever. I'd like to upgrade to a 60, 70 horse, but I've also want to see how things are going to be going with this DEF and regen and bullcrap. If we can get away from that, then I'd like to go another route, and but the way the tractors are now, even mine, the whole time I was plowing with it, the freaking thing stunk so bad. It's just a little tractor. It's not. But either way, yeah, if you're using it a lot, grease it. If you're doing tillage work or going back and forth doing that type of thing, and your manual, I'm not going to argue with. I usually do all my services to the manual spec. However, when they get into the greasing, it's all vague. But basically what they're telling you to do is do it. But yeah, loader work. What's another good? Basically, I'll end up greasing my loader 2 to 3 times more than I do the drivetrain of it. Shoot. I'm not afraid of the cold. I seen that. It just popped up. I'm sorry. How'd the logging job go? Oh, it went good, bud. Went good. It all depends on which one you're talking about. If it's the one that I was supposed to be going to for like a running interview type of deal, I didn't go. We ended up getting a snowstorm that weekend. If it's the one out back, that one went good. The trees didn't go down like some of you guys seen, if you guys watched that video or not. If you haven't, check it out. You guys can see that little 257 run that 24-inch bar pretty bad. But I don't think it's the saw. I think it was the way I adjusted the carb. Like I said, I kind of mentioned it earlier. I run it really rich, and it was starting to, even though it idled well, which is weird because it looked like it was fouling. Yeah, no, I hadn't gone yet, bud. Like I was getting into, we had a snowstorm that weekend, and it's a good hour and a half away from where I am. So, but I'll end up going out there. I might do a little recording when I do it too. But yeah, I wish I would have seen that freaking comment. I'll end up seeing it after when the video goes live. But I seen something about being cold. If it's cold, you don't be afraid to work it a little bit. Get things loosened up, get things warmed up a little bit. If you're automatically squeaking, you're late. You're wearing. That's no good. Do you have a lot of snow? Yeah, I just actually showed it off. We ended up getting, I'm going to say, around 22 inches here. I'll show you guys again real quick. For the guys that are just coming in. And like I said, I got to get all this cleaned up. This was just a mock if there was an emergency or something like that. Not back here, really, but this was just to get the tractor out. But I wanted to get the driveway and all that cleaned up. But I do have to still get back here, just get it cleaned up a little bit. Get the wood yard cleaned up a little bit more. But yeah, that was a doozy. I actually do have some plowing footage. I still haven't found a tether for the truck because I don't have the money to be buying cameras and all that stuff. So until I find a tether that I can actually stick to the side of the truck, and I'll be fine, not with losing, but at least it'll help a little bit mentally. Because right now I've got 2 cameras, well 3 with my phone. I've got the GoPro, I've got the Sony, and I've got my phone. And obviously with my job and the people that could possibly see, I can't be using the phone. So I've got the GoPro, but I only did interior. And actually, I haven't even looked at the footage that I have to know if it's even going to be decent or not. It was pretty bad. Snow, we had multiple freaking accidents. A lot of that stuff I've got to edit out. It was a good wallop. It was, I'm going to say around a 4.5, 5 hour storm. And that's where I think we got around 16 or 18 inches there. Here, I've got anywhere from 20 to 22 inches. I actually got to go do the roof of the house. But a lot of it's in the cab right here. So I don't know how that's really going to work. I did stick it on the passenger side window and get a little bit of shots of the wing, that type of deal. But I didn't get any feedback last time and the views, so I don't know what people like, if you guys are gonna like that or not, you know what I mean? So that's a lot like when I went out and cut the, I've done that 2 or 3 times since, way out back. Now I don't really know that I'm gonna get the tractor back there, but it's hard, you spend 4 or 5 hours on a little video, get 50 views and no comments. It's like, okay, should I go into a different route? And I'm kind of dipping my toes in, and I know being inconsistent is not going to help in any way, shape, or form, but it's hard making the content. And then, I added music to that one in the beginning, and I didn't get any comments about if it was too loud, if it was too quiet. I don't know. So I'm going to keep rolling, and I'm going to keep throwing things out there throughout the week and whatnot. But until I can get the last inside view, that was fine. Yeah, I don't know if y'all have seen Let's Dig. No. That's, yeah. Jim Howe. Is it Jim Howe? He's out of, I was just checking him out this morning. He just came out with a 360 GoPro view, which, if things do take off and people do enjoy it, I wouldn't mind dropping that money. It's kind of expensive, I mean, for a freaking little camera, but I guess it's a 360. And I don't know how he edited it, but he went from the wing to the passenger seat there, and then he went back to the wing, and then he could go over to the driver's seat, so you could kind of see everything. And it was kind of, I didn't look at the video to see if I could actually move the camera myself, because that's kind of weird, and the quality of the content. I haven't seen too many 360 cameras that actually look very good. I usually watch plow videos. Okay, yeah. Well, then you might be interested. I mean, like I said, I gotta clean that up. I wasn't doing the freaking front yard and the driveway, and we had so much car moving, and I wasn't doing all that. But back here, I don't mind throwing up the camera and doing a little bit, but it won't take very long. But maybe I'll get the Sony out and I'll stick the tripod out and see if I can't get a little bit of that footage. But yeah, he had that 360 camera. And like I said, I don't know if he was able to, with the editing software that he has, show where he wanted the camera to go. But like, he didn't have to move it at all. And he was able to, you know, bring it so you were actually looking out the passenger side window and you could see everything that was going on beautiful. But then the camera would just all of a sudden move and it'd go right to the wing, and it was a perfect shot. And that's half the issue that I have with the Sony. It does have the viewfinder on it, but you're basically looking at the camera, you're looking at the view. Okay, I'm gonna come here, so you gotta plan that. And if the camera's just a little bit too low, it cuts off your head. If the camera's a little bit too high, all you see is your head. So it's kind of funny. But with the GoPro, you don't have a viewfinder, so you're sticking it in the best looking area. And you know, it does have a fish eye lens, I think they call it, or something like that, so it is wide, so you kind of have a little bit of flexibility. But that 360, just, it went beautiful. I mean, like I said, if you guys haven't checked him out, Jim Howe, I think, something like that. He just come out on my sidebar, and I think he popped out in my sidebar before I was working for the state. And I checked out a lot of his videos. He's got quite a bit of older stuff that I still go back and look at. He's not a huge video maker, but definitely worth a check out. I'm trying to think of where he's from. Nova Scotia? Is it? Maybe. But it looks to be a DOT or something like that. I watch Let's Dig. Yeah. I watch old Let's Dig. Yeah, good people. But like I said, check him out. These freaking hats. It's so warm, but man, oh man. How you doing, Buck? So yeah, I could see myself going to get the 360 GoPro after seeing what he did with that video. I'm just trying to figure it out in my head how he did it, because like I said, whenever I use a 360, if you move your phone, it kind of goes wherever the phone is, so, or your finger there, or the mouse. But the way his video worked, I'd be very interested to see if he could actually choose what points, because that would be like having your own cameraman. That'd be awesome. So definitely check out that new camera. It's pretty cool, and the quality of it was amazing for 360. Like I said, it's usually pixely, which I can understand because it's not. But we've gotten onto a lot of stuff here. I basically want to do a little chat and see how you guys were doing. Don't really know what I plan on doing. Like I said, I might go out and get that tractor. I don't have an outside temp, but it's still freaking cold. And with it being that cold, I don't really want to be cranking on her too long. So, yeah, I think that was about it. Check out the poplar video there. See how that was. Like I said, don't be afraid to critique by any means, because that's what I'm looking for. That's why I keep throwing these weird things up. But thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And the new guys that have come in asking questions, if you do not get a response, send it again. Whatever you got to do. I've had multiple emails even, and that's the other thing that I wanted to get off my chest. I've had emails and just messages coming out of weird spots that I don't ever see. A lot of questions on the 140. You know, even like the greasing of the tractor and whatnot. I've had multiple questions like that type of stuff. And I'm not saying the way I do it is right. I'm not saying the way I did it, like on the 140. You know, I had a comment the other day Oh, that they had watched my video, which this is what I don't understand completely, and I wanna make sure that I put out there, and I'm gonna repeat this a couple times. What I put out there on the 140 and the way that I built it. Understand that I'm not a. It's just I made it work. That was the biggest thing. Now whether it's right, wrong, or whatever, um, you know that's up to me testing basically. Uh, Another comment with the 140 was, um, did you do any rate? Did you change any ratios or anything like that for the mowing deck? Myself personally, no, I didn't. I went out and I tested it, and you know what? It mowed the grass well. I understand that the RPMs on that engine versus the Kohler or whatever the heck it is, 14 horse. I used to have it right there, be ready to talk about it, but it doesn't have the RPMs. And the individual's like, well, if it doesn't have, or if it's a diesel engine, obviously it's going to be turning a little bit. Yeah, it is going to be turning slower. But what do you do in that case? And what I said was, hey, take it and test pulleys. It has. I don't have them in here. I put them out back. What do they have? Mule drives. I have shoot, man, I hate that. All I got to was 540 hours. Son of a gun. I'm sorry, man. This freaking phone. If I had Wi-Fi out here, I could have the chats over here. Son of a gun. Sorry, Buck. Retype it. Re-put it up. Why not? So the mule drive, it comes off your, what is it? It's electronically engaged via the switch. I don't know. I don't remember what side of the engine it's off. Either way, it comes off the engine, goes to the mule drive, which then goes to a pulley on the back of the deck. Okay, believe it's either your center or your idler. Now you got 3 different spots there. I understand you can't alter the mule drive. I don't know if you can alter the one off the engine, which I actually have right here, but I don't have the clutch. But either way, if you want it to spin faster, you mess with your pulley size. It's the same thing with the racing mowers. Oh, okay. Well, very cool, bud. Very cool. That's a nice sized tractor, actually. Very nice. Yeah, my tractor was, what was it, 2017. And I got it this spring. I think I've already talked about this. I'm surprised I didn't make a video on it. I was so excited when I did it. Thing had, I think, 7 hours on it when I got it. Now I've got 120 hours on it. But it was 2017 with 7 or 10 hours on it. Either way, it took me 8 hours. 8 hours to drive it from there to here. So I put basically double, well, no, not double, but I put the exact same amount driving it from the location it was at to my house because I didn't have a trailer. That was a long, long drive. And that little 3080, I think, does 15. And when you're on a hill, it might do 7. It's got a lot of torque, but no road gear in it at all. But yeah, so kind of what I was going through. The 140, don't build your tractor off of what I put out there. You can get ideas. I never did a how-to. I did a what I did. I never made any videos. Wow. How you doing, Buck? I never did any videos. I do have a lot of pictures of the process. And I think I have a video out there that kind of explained the way I've cut things, messed with the motor mounts. Really all that was, I I think more or less the day I did the oil change, if I'm not mistaken. But that's kind of why I want to do a actual build, but not in the same respect, because it would take a ridiculous amount of time to do everything on camera. So I might do, you know, some of the little ins and outs on the camera, keep going, bring you back in. This is where we are, this is what we did type of deal. But I've still got to figure that out. Like I said, Deputy kind of got me inspired. He's actually building a Simplicity right now. I think it's a 7117 or a 1771, something like that. I'm not familiar with the Simplicities yet. But that's another one that was a case 444, I think it is. It actually looks just like a little farm tractor. It actually has pretty decent rear tires on it too. I'm trying to figure out where I can get one of them, but I got to get some of these other projects done, and maybe by dabbling into this, figuring out where people like to be and, you know, like to see. I mean, I went out and got freaking cameras. They go into the phones and go into my Sonys to get into doing the rifles, handguns and all that. But he can't do any of that crap on YouTube. So I was then looking into maybe making another channel on another platform. And I've got, I think, 3 different channels on different platforms with guns. And I don't know yet. I don't know what I want to do. So I'm gonna just keep throwing content out there, and someday it'll stick. And yeah, but I'm hoping tonight, if I don't get called, we don't really have much wind right now, but with how light the snow is and the little bit of wind that is going on, excuse me, I wouldn't be surprised if I don't get called out. If I do, there won't be any video, but I would like to try to do a little bit more of farming tonight. It breaks terms of service now, man. Freaking, I don't even want to get into that, but you look at Demo Ranch, you look at Lunkers TV, you look at any of these guys, and now they don't even say the G word. You know, Freedom Package senders, they've got so many, because it's like me, you know, I don't record right here because, God forbid, I've got my firearm. I don't record my hip right now, you know, but if it happens in a video or something like that and you see it, oh freaking well, there's nothing I can do about it. But I'm not going to make a video on that because I don't know the repercussions, but I know I've seen the repercussions. If you guys have watched Wrangler Star or anything like that, he's got a lot of them videos, but he's had to take them out because they're giving him strikes on his channel. Where now he's got two different video sites now that he's been doing gun builds on himself. But there he's not getting traction, and this is a guy with, you know, 1 point something million subscribers on YouTube. So if he's not getting many views there, how's a guy with freaking 16, it's actually gone down now, my subscribers, after I started putting up the video. Having a stale channel for like 8 months, I kept my subscribers. Once I start putting up real life stuff, the subscriptions go down. So, you know, a guy like me doing that, I don't think it's even worth my, yeah, I just enjoy doing it. And the way things have been going down the pike lately with firearms in general, and it's not, I'm not even going to get into it. That's why I'm out here freaking with my little stove. But yeah, so I think I'll rig up the camera later, do a little bit of plowing and put that up, see how that goes, if you guys like that. And then really contemplate that 318. I don't have an air compressor big enough for my spray gun, so maybe I'll do a rattle can deal. I don't know. That's actually how I did the 140, and that frickin' thing came out gorgeous. I was very impressed, and that might be fun That might be fun to show because that's more realistic. A lot of people, you know, they look at them, the air guns or this professional gun kits, and it's just, it's out of their ballpark. They don't have this, they don't have that, they don't have the boot, whatever. I I did that 140, and like I said, I've got some gorgeous, gorgeous photos of that on the iPhone. Um, I'm not saying there's no blemishes on it. There is now because I used it for year two, freaking mowing and whatnot, getting used, snow blowing. So it doesn't look like that now. It's going to again because I'm gonna redo that one. But well, I'm gonna restore it back to where it was. But I'm thinking I'll do another rattle can deal, and the secrets behind it. There's a lot behind just painting in general. You know, like Deputy and I were saying last night, because he was saying anytime he gets a nice paint job or something like that, and he goes to do a clear on it, then a bug flies into it. Like, yeah, that's real life. You know, that hood. I think I've got 5 or 6 coats of clear on, and then I took like a 2000 grit and wet sanded it all, and then I think I put a little buffing on it because I did have flakes of freaking dust or bug or something like that, and that's how you bring it back. And I remember mine looked really foggy, and I'm really rambling here, but the hood looked really foggy. So I did. I don't remember if it was a Flitz kit for a Flitz kit. What was it for headlights? But it came with a little ball with like a little very, very fine rubbing compound. I think I buffed it with that. And it was basically all experiment at that time because I thought I ruined it. That frickin' thing popped so good when I got it done. And there was a lot of other things. So that's kind of why I'd like to show you a little bit of a build. And like I said, it's not your Discovery Channel, frickin' Two Guys Garage or something like that. It's not like that. It's taking something that isn't anything, like that rolling chassis out there, and making it into something. You know what I mean? So just find out what you're passionate in, do it, and you know, I love axes. I love splitting wood now. I never did it as a kid, man. I'm not gonna. It's a long video. Chainsaws. I've got so many little passions in this little shed, not to mention everything else. But we're gonna start rocking out some videos as soon as winter's done, and hopefully you guys will find something that you guys like. But thank y'all. God bless. Sorry I missed them comments. Don't be afraid to ask them again. Whatever. Don't ever be afraid of doing that. You know. And thank you all once again for the support. Love you guys. See you next time.